Are you listening?
It's anything and everything with Mel.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking about how if you think, if you believe in it hard enough, it happens.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think our brains somehow, if the placebo effect maybe has an effect on reality?
Yeah, but there's a limitation. I mean, there's always a ceiling with the human condition, But I do.
I 100% believe in that. It's like when people are like in toxic relationships, and that's a placebo effect on themselves. When they think this toxic relationship is still going to be great for them, but they know it's bad, and like they kind of placebo themselves into still staying within that toxic relationship.
But there's like some souls are at different levels of growth than others. So like some souls, no matter what information you give them, they're going to have to learn and fail. And to learn, like
of course,
a lot of people learn by pain. The pain is the best teacher, the most instantaneous teacher. But like placebo effects, as far as like, it's like, oh well, do I feel like I'm under the influence of something? Do I feel? I mean, I don't know. That's
like when Jim Carrey talks about how and famous people talk about how they really focused on their dream and kind of pictured their dream.
Made it a reality, yeah.
And they didn't just sit on the couch, of course.
Right.
But
they chipped away.
Yeah, I mean, is that kind of like? In a way, that's what you guys have been doing.
Yeah, your focus determines your reality, no doubt. I mean, there's some things though. Like I said, there's ceilings. Like we would have loved to be more successful at this point, but there's ceilings in the rock and roll world right now that have nothing to do with us. It's like the genre as a whole is not successful right now. So that's a ceiling we have to deal with. That's a limitation that we can't help.
Yeah, it's a much different thing. Like, because Justin and I are big basketball fanatics. So like a lot of times I'll put it in like a basketball sense. It's crazy because like rock and roll or music in general, even acting to an extent, like a lot of like I guess entertainment, in general.
Has been revolutionized due to the internet.
Well, yeah, due to the internet, due to the internet kind of killed a lot of those arts and killed the sales in them. So therefore, not as many people can be the artist, or it's not really about, or technology in general is taken away from being an artist. It's not really about being an artist. It's more about being a face and a bunch of these other things. So for you look at these great bands, like you'd be shocked at how many of the bands I've seen like on tour that I think are better than the bands that I listen to a lot of bands that I end up touring with, and these bands are better than a lot of the bands that you hear on the radio. It's crazy to me, or like artists that you hear on the radio in general. So it's crazy that there isn't like with basketball or like sports, it's very clear cut. If you have talent, you're gonna be you're gonna make it onto your varsity team.
Yeah, but
and then you're gonna get picked into a college, and then you're gonna get picked into a draft pool, and it's just clear cut on your talent. And definitely does it take a lot of work. Hell yeah. Like, I'm not trying to take away their work. It's just, but it's different because if you have the talent and you're a hard worker, you're there. With us, if you have the talent and you're a hard worker,
it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
A lot of it is luck,
like 100%. Like it's more about who you know than ever. Like before, it's like, and that used to be a phrase. Like it's who you know, but like at this point, it's like if you don't know somebody, there is no chance of success. There is none. Like you won't get it. And that's unless you're playing to the current trend, unless you're a rap artist right now or a country artist or a pop punk artist, you're not gonna have that ease of use and ease of access to that world. To me, I think the hardest dreams and the most intense dreams are the ones that perhaps take the most time, and especially with us, it's like we're not trying to be necessarily like a scene type of band, like 1,000 capacity band. We're trying to be the Foo Fighters reincarnated. We're trying to be like a massive rock band that speaks to people through song and allows people to get away from I guess the stress of being a human being for just a small amount of time, or hopefully relate to the stresses in their life to the point where they look at it and go, okay, I'm not the only one here. That seemed to be where music was special to me growing up, and I think if we can do that, if we can bring people to that place in their life where they not only engage in the music but also allow the music to influence their decision making in a positive way, that's where the magic's at to me. It's this band is not just a musical experience for us, it's a platform to help others, and that's always what it's gonna be. So I think that's the biggest thing about
back
us.
to like the whole who type thing. It's every time we go out on tour, management, label, booking agent, make friends with this guy. You know, it's kind of like real grimy. It's like fake friends. Everybody there is fake friends, and like, you know, I really hate it.
Everyone uses everyone.
Yeah, and it's like you use like you're friends with them to use them in a sense, and like to me, like we're really fortunate, you know, because like we do have these friends in this band called Ice at the Kill. It's bigger than us, you know. So when like we ask them like favors, like, you know, they want to hang out, like we're like best band friends. So it's like, you know, if they're on tour, they're staying at my house. We're all hanging out. Cool. It's like a good time. We spent, you know, a lot of time with them on the road. So, you know, they brought us back out to Mexico. They want to bring us out again this year. And it's just like, that to me doesn't feel grimy. That's really just like friends enjoying each other's music.
You do make that once in a while in the industry. It's like you'll find those people that are genuine, you know?
Yeah, and so like those are the contacts I like making more than like the, hey, how you doing? Here's some BS small talk. Now let me pitch to you what I hope I can get.
Yeah.
And I hate that factor so much. Like, and it's weird because sometimes that people think that's what they're trying to do, or what you're trying to achieve, and maybe sometimes you're just trying to achieve a friendship with that person because you do actually like them, but they may be so much bigger than you that, you know, they're scared of that, because at the same time, like, you know, everybody in the world's asking them of a favor at the moment. It's everyone in the world. It's ridiculous. And then they have you hit it from all angles, like, well, our manager's going to hit him up. And I feel bad for some of these people. It's like, our manager's going to hit him up.
They get bombarded.
Our label's going to hit them up. Everybody, hit them up right now. Yeah. And it's like, oh, so yeah, it's weird. It's like a gang jump up and like everybody circles like, are you going to put us on this tour? Yeah. Hey man, are you going to post about our album on your Instagram? Yeah. Like, it's really weird to me. And I don't like it because like, but I hate it because that's how it is at the same time. Yeah. Like, you know. Yeah.
It's one of those businesses, man, that like it kind of unfortunately takes you away from the things that you want to do as a purist. It's like, you know, you don't want to think like that, you know, and especially us. It's like we strictly and only really care about the music. The business is so beyond what we care about, but we have to care about it to a degree because there's a level of it that it's like, okay, well, if we don't care about it to some degree, then our art will never be heard. These songs that we believe in will never get to the masses. So, you know, at some points you have to bend, but not musically, you know, business-wise, it's like that's what you have to start being more of an entrepreneur, and you have to start having that entrepreneurial mind. And if you have that mindset, luckily Comron's kind of been that for us, and he's really good at it. I'm not really
the drive behind
behind marketing, networking. And it's like I've always been like the musical dude, and so that's, you know, I sometimes I'm good for an idea occasionally marketing wise, but like, you know, it's primarily him, and that's been our successful I don't know, like partnership in a way, is like in a business sense. Beyond our friendship, we have something that, you know, it's like we have a dream and a goal, a common goal in mind, and we want this to work. So we try to work together as a basketball team would, and you know, the bread and butter, the songs are nothing without the duality of having somebody that cares about them enough to try to get them out to, you know, the right people.
Also care about the people in it as well. Like, you know, we've been really selective, going through like some member change stuff recently, and you know, to me, it's just, I want someone that wants to play for me. They're playing this song because they want my success, and I'm playing this song because I want their success. Like, you know, we're all playing for each other, because if not only like if I play bad, am I mad about like letting myself down? I'm mad about letting my friends down. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. Like it's like in the like I pick up weird leadership skills from all kinds of things. Like, you know, favorite basketball players that maybe had like a way that they led their team to some success, or like, you know, in like the new Power Rangers movie, like they can't morph until they're working as a unit, as a team, because they're all just random kids kind of that ended up in this situation. And that's how it is being in a band sometimes. There's a bunch of random people that end up in this situation, and one of the lines are really cool, because like one night one of the guys goes, hey, let's have a bonfire, you know, like all of us, let's just kick it, you know, try and get, you know, maybe we can't morph, not because, you know, we don't actually know, we aren't really friends, you know what I mean, we're all just here. And then they all start like, you know, opening up to each other, telling each other secrets, you know, their most personal things they never released to anyone or whatever. And then one of the girls says, you know, I don't even want to do this, like, you know, like, because, you know, is this all fake? You know, are we still going to be these kind of friends later on, or are we these friends right now just because we're Power Rangers? And that's kind of how it is with the band. Like, you know, it's, you have members come and go, and it kind of sucks, because then afterwards, like, oh, you were only friends with me because
you saw us as an opportunity. That's what it becomes sometimes.
And sometimes, like, you know, like one of my best friends is Christian Navarro. I've played with music with him since I was, you know, 14 years old. And, you know, even to this day, like, him and I went snowboarding the other day, and, like, I brought that up to him, and I'm like, you know, it's really cool, because sometimes, you know, like, we've had tons of members in and out, other than me and Justin and Ryan for the most part, that it feels like that, you know, that these people are here just because you guys are in a band together, and it's not because you're friends. And I don't want it to be like that. So for me and Christian, when him and I were talking about that, he was telling me about, you know, some past bands, current bands, whatever it may be, and he was like, you know, sometimes I feel like that's how it is with these people I'll jam with. Like, the only reason why we hang out is because I'm like a really good drummer, and that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, the kid that we have playing drums with us right now, like I hung out with him a zillion times this summer. That's pretty much how he ended up like trying out. We were at a concert together, and he goes, "Hey," he's like, "Can I play drums?" I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't know you could play drums, but you know, you're my friend, so I guess I'll let you try." Like, it was literally because he was my friend, and I felt bad, and I didn't want to say no to my friend.
And he came over and like outplayed us for like the whole night. You know, it was like what?
That's awesome.
Like I would say that like he, in my life, he's kind of re-sparked the passion I had when I was 20 years old, and that's something that you can only get from a 19-year-old drummer. Like you can, I feel like at this point, if we had somebody that was 27 in the band, it's an opportunistic idea and approach. Usually when you're 27, it's like when you're 27, you're done fucking around. You want a band that's established. You want an opportunity that's gonna make sense to you and work out, because you've obviously been fighting it out for years at that point. But he's fresh. He's young and he's hungry, and we're no different in ethics still. Like, we still retain that ethic, so it's like, man, he's the guy. It's that missing link that's
kind
like...
of see, like, yourself in him and you guys...
Oh, absolutely. Like, so much
that's
so.
Cool.
And, like, his favorite artist of all time is Elvis. And
yeah, you don't hear that from a 19-year-old kid.
Wow.
He has an Elvis collection, like, Comron CKY collection. Like, it's like
oh
deep. He has, like, plates and mugs.
Wow.
And, yeah, we're talking about, like,
an
on... And then his second favorite band is Green Day, and his third favorite is Open Your Eyes.
Yeah,
so
he's been coming to our show since he was like 10 years old.
11,
so.
yeah, I think he was 11 when he said, yeah. So
because there's nothing he wants more than for that you guys and everyone to succeed.
Yeah, and now that he's a part of it, he's like, we were talking about that the other day, me and him. He's like, man, I just can't believe I'm a part of this. Like, I'm so excited. I always like love the lyrics, love the music, all that, and it's an opportunity for him. Beyond just oh cool, it's something cool. It's like, no, this is like mind blowing for him. To be in a band that he's loved for this long.
And then
must be insane.
This also goes into the aspect of it too. Is like, for the most part, Justin's more to himself, but even he does know a lot of people to a good degree. They come up to the shows, but me, like, I'm online talking to people all the time. So to me, like, I don't know, I want to get to know my fans as well, because I hate the business factor. Like, buy my CD. We're putting out this new CD. You better buy it so we can chart good on Billboard and we can get on better tours. Like, that shit's kind of weird to me. So, like, me, like, there's a bunch of fans that, like, I follow on social media, and, like, I'll do live videos on my Instagram because I'm bored, and we'll just talk, and, like, I'll play, like, some of our new songs. Like, I like to get to know these people personally as well, because, like, I feel like they know me so personal because I'm in a band. I have to have social media. I have to put all my life out there. Mm-hmm. And so I want to get to know these people on a personal level too. Like, like what have they invested? Why do they like me? What do I want to find out about them? And there's tons of them now, dude. It's just so many people that I like I said, the kid that's playing with us now, he's one of those people. He was a fan that went to every show. Eventually, he made his own band, and, he's like, "Can you please come to my show? I'll buy a ticket and everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, just like, I'll come out. When is it?" And, because I wanted to see what his life was like. I wanted to, see, what are we kind of, planting to other kids. And even this year, I posted on Facebook. I'm like, "Hey, does anyone want to skate?" And he goes, "I skate." He was like, "Can I come with?" Of course, whatever. Like, it can't hurt. Like, and I skated with him, and, like, we built this good friendship. So to me, then we brought him out on tour with us to work for us, because him and I had become friends from it. I put his band on some shows then. And, that's just the thing. Like, why would you not want to get to know these people? I mean, the creepy people, stay away. Yeah. But there are a lot of genuine people out there that don't want you just because they like your art. I mean, sometimes, it's like I said, they want to know they want to be friends with you, not just because they're obsessed with your band, but because their artist spoke to you, because your artist spoke to them so much
on a personal level,
that they want to see. They want to know.
They want to know who you are, and
who the man behind the mask is.
Yeah.
If Michael Scott from The Office made music, everyone would want to hear him just because of how lovable of a character he is.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like, honestly, if you guys got that Ethel Radio back on, you guys are good talkers, really good talkers. I feel like you guys alone can get just. If you guys had a side podcast that you guys just talked and bullshit
it's
with
funny
each other,
that you say that, like,
people would get to know you on a personal level, and that really, I feel like the music alone, like, think about it. What you write. Okay, you guys can be a little conceited here for a second, because that the lyrics that you write and the way that you guys sound is 100% not only professional sounding, but on another level. It's something like your lyrics are reaching out to people, just like how I want my podcast. Like, you're informing people
want
and
people to
giving
learn
them
something
those
from it.
yes,
Yeah.
you're
You don't
giving
wanna-
them those things they seek desperately that they don't even know they maybe
Sure,
seek.
yeah, of
Like
course.
advice and
I mean, sometimes when I listen to a record, I cry.
yeah.
Out of just like thankfulness that I can't believe this is my band and these are songs that the
Honestly,
lyrics came out of me. But then other times I listen to it, and I'm like, this is pathetic. You know what I mean? So like, this is the worst piece of shit I've ever heard. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It
Writing
feels like
music
my-
like this. So it's like I have literally 50% of my life is one, 50% is the other. It's like some days I feel like we're gonna be the biggest band in the world, no doubt, and then other days it's like, man, we're gonna be lucky to sell 10 copies of this next record. Like it goes that extreme.
Yeah.
But anything great will push you to those extremes. It's like it makes sure that you're right where you need to be.
For sure.
It's like
you
our
know?
two favorite basketball teams right now. Like Justin's a big Lakers fan, I'm a big Magic fan. Two teams, like the Lakers obviously have like a great they've won so many championships, and the Magic had a winning record their entire career until like the past 5 years, and I feel the same way. So
Yeah.
like you feel the same way too. Some days like him and I, we gotta text each other. Well, check out my rookie. Look what we're gonna do, and then we both just have to shut up eventually because our teams both suck.
They eventually start blowing it hard, like so hard. You're like, oh, we're on a 9-game losing streak. I should probably stop being hopeful.
But see, like, imagine though the songs that you do have, like, all it takes is one person who comes across some of your music and shares it
That
or
believe-
likes
yeah,
it,
of course.
and
yeah.
who has millions of viewers.
Yeah.
And then you can wake up one morning with 100,000 new followers.
And that's the encouraging side.
You know?
The discouraging side is that needle in the haystack has not been found yet.
Yeah.
So
or it's been teased. Like there
Yeah,
has been
yeah,
people with
like-
a lot of power that like us,
Yeah.
and
But it's like, oh, you guys are almost there, but like we're not quite fully ready to take you on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, we've had big labels hit us back. Like, oh man, you guys are really really good. Like we really like it. Like major
a major
labels.
record deal
But-
was
but-
almost there this
but-
year.
We'll keep our eye on you. They're
Yeah.
like watching us develop, and it's like, when is the point?
But
That,
is
like,
it probably yeah, true. I mean, but it's probably because to them in a marketing sense, as of right now, what is the songs that are selling?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
about
us.
no,
repetitive
that is a response.
Gucci Gang
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You know?
That is a response we get more than any. Is it happens quite often, which is surprising too. Like, and we never usually. I've only gotten from one person where they're like, I really just don't like this, and it was really heartbreaking to me because it was an A&R that I really looked up to. The guy that signs bands to a label is the A&R of a label, so this A&R I really looked up to, and he just shot it down every single time. Like, hated everything about it. But most of the time we get a response like, you guys are really good, really different, but we just don't know what to do with
Yeah,
you. Like,
I bet.
we don't know how to market this
Like,
right
There's not
now.
probably a studio that takes like
and there's no middle ground with our sound. It's like the bands that sound like us are either, like the bands that we could tour with are like the Black Keys or Cage the Elephant. We're talking like thousands of cat Rise
because
Against.
those are the only
10,000
categories you
cat
fit
bands,
into.
5,000 cat. Yeah, A Day to Remember maybe kind of, but like there's just like it's either like Escape the Fate, club bands or that. And it's like, well, where's the it's either amphitheaters or
It's
or
weird.
small
Like,
clubs.
when you
and-
look at bands that draw, it's like there's the bands that do like the 0 to like, or I guess like there's the bands that start doing from 50 to like 200 people.
yeah.
After that, they jump up to being a band that draws about 1,000 people.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And then
There's no-
after that, it's like 5,000.
Yeah, max. And
There's a couple bands that'll do like 2,500, but like
Yeah.
it's usually there are divisions of
And then
power.
after
bands
that,
get.
After that, there's no like, all right, maybe there's this band that might draw 10. That's rare. That's very rare. That's probably the rarest
Like
one. A
Avenged
band that'll draw like
Sevenfold
10,
style, yeah.
grand. Well, Avenged draws more than 10 grand now, but yeah, I mean,
In certain places.
yeah, for, the most part, they do like, the United Center type shit.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. It's like there might be a band like Rise Against where there'll be like some markets they'll draw 10,000 people. And that's one of those few bands where it's like they really sit in like this 10,000 mark. And then it just goes to 30,000. So the most that you see of, I feel like, of any band is the 1,000 cap rooms, or not even, maybe even like the 200 cap, and then the
500, yeah.
and then you get the 30,000 cappers. The room in between
Is
is
very limited.
so limited, and like
Yeah.
you get the thousands, the people that draw the thousands on a headliner, they're either on their way up skyrocketing or on their way down crashing. So
And like that House of Blues level, it's being weeded out. It's like the middle class of music, and it's not really. It's hard to not only get there, but it's also hard to maintain.
Mhm.
It's hard to go above it, and it's very easy to go below it. It's like very few bands, like when I saw like the Fray at the House of Blues, like it was packed, and they'll always sell that kind of thing out, and that'll always be easy for them. But then other bands, like I see at the House of Blues, it's like, well, I mean, especially like metal bands like Black Dahlia Murder, you know, there's like 500 people, you know, and it's a 1,200 cap venue roughly, so you're looking at like, okay, well, it's like there's that band that, you know, it's like, oh, we can play there because it's the House of Blues, but we won't sell it out. Like it's hard to maintain that. And then to get beyond that is even harder, you know. To get to that 5,000 is like, whoa, you really gotta want it, man. Like
for sure,
it's incredibly crazy.
It's like I said, you're either like, if you're playing House of Blues, you're either skyrocketing if you're the headliner, or you're on your way down to crash.
Yep.
So it's one of those two. There's no really in betweens. It's very few bands that ever like Clutch. There's like band that has this diehard following, and they'll sell out House of Blues for the rest of their career, no problem.
Yeah.
And that's a very rare band. Like I can't think of many that go like on a House of Blues circuit that forever will be.
But those are also
Under
bands
50s,
like
they're still doing it,
there's bands that aren't selling out. I mean, some of them, the ones that do sell out, still like, well, Black Dahlia Murder. I haven't really. I don't pay attention to their lyrics and stuff much, but I really, really, really think that all of this stuff, like the fact that podcasts are even becoming a popular thing, the fact that people are seeking out knowledge and conversations over
other
music and stuff too,
or
over not just over everyday radio and commercials. It really, really makes me think that people eventually it's shifting. It's slowly shifting, especially with all this flooded information we're all getting.
I mean, information age, man.
Yeah, and I truly think like the music industry, we've seen, how many times have you seen it change, go back and forth, you know?
Tons.
It's almost a matter of time until you guys are on the forefront, you know?
Yeah, the dam
it really will.
Rock and roll is going to come through again, because, you know, and I'm not saying this, I'm like an old rock guy, like, no, rock and roll is going to come through again, because rock and roll, still to this day, is the only music that's lasted all the test of time always to be the most seller.
And it's authentic. There's an authenticism to it that has
the emotion.
It's like okay, we're going to be unique in our own right, but also retain the values that our forefathers of rock and roll had. And you know, Elvis and Led Zeppelin, the Beatles and things, Pink Floyd and Black Sabbath, those bands laid the groundwork. And to me, now it's like what we're trying to do is re-spark our generation's awareness of how cool that was. And it's hard to do. It's like, well, you know, you're talking about literally an seemingly impossible goal. It's like you're literally trying to, like, we are trying to become not become the voice of a generation. That's not the goal. The goal is to reach the widest audience possible out of sheer longing for humanitarian connection over the art that we have. And that's something that, you know, now I think a lot of bands want to be big for reasons beyond helping people or even before that. It's like they just want the either A, status, or B, it's a better job than a banker, or C, you know, they find it such an ease of use. It's like, of course it's easy to be in a band if you look at it as a job, but when you get to the nitty gritty, those people that do that, they don't last long. Their bands might last 2 records and they're like, I can't do it. And it becomes like you become aware after an album or two that, okay, this is really hard. This is not easy. It's physically, psychologically, emotionally. This is tearing me apart.
Being on tour
like,
is one of the biggest mental things that are so hard.
Every time, and it's like, wow, like it pushes you to your absolute limit. And if you don't love it, it separates the fakers from, you know, the pretenders from the reality, you know, the reality seekers. And those people that seek the truth and always want to be involved in music for pure reasons are the ones that get to that Foo Fighters level, you know, and that's the only way you can do it if you really love it. Like, the true love has to be there, and if it's not, it won't come out on top for very long.
So if you personally hear of an artist, of an upcoming artist that you come across on Facebook, you hear them have a conversation like we're having tonight, and about their ideals and goals and what they actually want and achieve for their show and for their music, would that not make you fall in love with them?
Of course. I watched Dave Grohl. I watched like 2 hours of Dave Grohl footage earlier, just interviews of him from this year. I mean, he as a human being is fascinating to me because my mom actually told me this the other day. She goes, I just love Dave Grohl because he just, every time I see him, he reminds me of you. And I love that she feels that way. You know, my mom actually feels, I felt for the first time in my life like, oh, my mom does understand me a little bit, you know, because she's a teacher. But to me, it's like this human is doing things that nobody ever thought were possible. To have like a 30,000 capacity following all over the world for 25 years some plus are they going on now? They
not,
were in
not
90...
even that. Like, you get Nirvana, which was really big already, and he's not only is he in one match, like he defied the odds twice.
Yeah, and beyond that, it's like things like this, like our guitar player Ryan's having a child, and so there are things that's like, oh man, like we came to a spot recently where we're like, what do we do? We're not big enough to support like child support and like like the whole like insurance thing for his daughter. But then it was like, well, maybe we can Foo Fighters this thing. And Pat Smear, the guitar player of Nirvana, also was in the Foo Fighters' first incarnation. Went away from the band for a few years, and that was okay because he was like, I need a break. I don't really want to do it right now. I'm not feeling it. Passion's not there. Okay, so they bring in other guys, and then eventually Pat comes back in on top of the guy that they got. So they're now a 3-guitar band. That's something that's like, oh well. If Ryan can, when we do start making money, there it is. He's inspired us to kind of. It's like that's never been done. Like nobody did that before the Foo Fighters. Nobody was like, "Oh yeah, old member, come on. You haven't been in the band in 10 years. Come back in and just let's be a 3-guitar band. Why not? Like why? We're a family. Fuck it. That's beautiful. That's the thing that I love about OIE is a family.
Yeah, like we have this like really cool logo where like each person has like their own independent logo and it looks like a flag.
It's a Led Zeppelin ripoff.
We
have a symbol. It symbolizes who we are as a person.
Yeah, and then it goes flag wise. So like we took off our old drummer. And, it was like, when Ryan, when we talked to him, I said, I don't want your spot to be off there. Like, I still want you to be in the studio with us writing. Because, like, if we're home, you could still come in and record with us at any time. Like, we're recording at Crown Point like we are right now. You live 10 minutes from there. Like, why don't you just come down and still be part of the band? Why don't you still write? Why don't you still, do this?
Be involved in the creative process.
And then, like, why don't you come out and do the music videos? Like, like, I still want him to be in the band. And then, pretty much he has the keys to come and go whenever he pleases due to his, daughter. Because...
It's a situation we all understand.
We love Ryan to death, and Ryan's been, outside of me and Justin, the only person that's been playing with each other for so long. Like, Ryan's been playing with us now for, 4 years, which is kind of crazy to think.
And I think the purity of his belief in us is what gave us, the comfortability to give him the access of, in and out anytime he needs. Because it's like, you look at the proofs in the pudding, man. Like, he's been in this band for better or worse, giving it his all. Absolutely, for a few years now, and it's like he said, that's not really happened with any other member. It's like he's always been showing up on time, on fire, ready to do it, good attitude.
Even if it's not what Ryan wants to do, Ryan will do it.
Yep, and that's the thing. He's such a team player, and it's so hard to.
Justin and I are more it's gonna be this way or the other. Like when him and I will say something like, "Oh well, I want it to be this way," and then sometimes Justin will be like, "I want it to be this way," and Ryan's like, whatever. We'll go with it. We'll make it work. And Ryan's our glue to our band. So
that's kind of how I was when starting this podcast. I tried to start it last year, but I realized that there was just a lot more to go into it than I wanted to do. I just was going to do shitty audio recordings and kind of just start from that. But the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to make the first ones count and make it more because those are really going to be crucial to my audience and whether they keep listening.
I always try to give advice to bands when they're first coming out because the first thing you put out is going to be your first impression, and how serious you take that is how serious everyone else is going to take you.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.